Hi, you guys. I'm Phil Town for Rule 1 Investing, and it's time for Q&A, so thanks for joining us. All right, let's get started.
James from Facebook asks, can you tell me when the market is going for a big correction or crash? I have my money loaded into Wells Fargo and Berkshire Hathaway stocks.
All right, James, thanks. You're loaded into Wells Fargo and Berkshire Hathaway. Well, those are both wonderful companies, in my humble opinion. Now, remember, that's my opinion. Don't go out there and start buying Wells Fargo and Berkshire because I said that's my opinion. They're great companies. That's not a complicated opinion to arrive at. Warren Buffett obviously owns Berkshire, and Berkshire owns a ton of Wells Fargo. So I'm coming by my opinion from good company. So you've got your bucks loaded into Wells Fargo and Berkshire. Okay, so the first thing to understand is, do you understand those businesses well enough to know that they both are going to continue to be wonderful businesses? Are those in your canyon, or are you just buying them because big guys are buying them? That's a real important distinction. So if you're just buying them because big guys are buying them, then I would start doing my homework really fast and get really good at understanding what those two companies are all about. Get your canyon right when it comes to Wells Fargo and Berkshire. Now, about the market going to a big correction or a crash. Well, I can say with some degree of certainty that the market is going to go for a big correction. I just don't know when. Now, how can I say it for certain? Because the market always goes for a big correction. You can't go any significant length of time and not have a big correction in the market. That's just the nature of the market. Mr. Market gets really excited when things are going up and people start paying too much for stuff, and eventually they realize, wow, I need to get out of this because it's really overpriced. And then they start to sell off, and eventually it gets too low and it's time to get back in. So certainly the market is going to correct, but we just don't know when. Now, my advice is to look carefully at the tools I talked about in rule number 1, use them on a monthly period, and watch for red arrows on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, the lead in for the red arrows is probably going to be the Russell. It's kind of wobbling back and forth right now, so kind of be careful. I would also take a look at the Schiller PE. It's off the chart high right now, and just for all of you who think, wow, this thing's going to crash, it's a pretty good data point for that, because every single time for the last 140 years that this Schiller PE got above 24, this market crashed, and it's at a 27 right now. So I don't know how long it's going to take before we get there, but at some point in the not too distant future, I think it is going to tumble. Now, so what? So what is, keep looking for great companies that are in your canyon. That's what you want to do, okay? If you're loaded up on Wells Fargo and Berkshire, make sure that those are in your canyon. And if they get way too pricey, you might want to unload a little bit and get ready to take advantage of the next drop. All right, well, thanks for watching, you guys. Hope you learned something from this, and for participating in the Q&A. We'd like to have a conversation continue. So tell me, what's the biggest insight you're taking away from this video? And more important, what can you do as a result of what you just learned? Leave a comment below and let me know, and that'll continue the conversation. I'm Phil Town. It's time to go play. See ya.